Hello folks, Grant Edwards here from Liberty Tiny Homes. We're just trying out this new dolly system for the tiny houses, and as you can see, what we do is we build the 6x2 with the 4x2 underneath, no suspension, with no axles, and then we have a separate dolly which is just those 3 axles there, a long drawbar triangle supported like a fork, and it comes right out to just a meter out, and it's supported at the front there with a 6mm 65mm angle iron and a couple of 10mm plates either side, and it's adjustable, so it's on a hinge like a pivot at the back end, so you can actually adjust this. You can take that out, there's 50mm in there, and if we feel like we're a wee bit got too much pressure on the back axle, we can lower that, you know, by half or right down. So if we drop it down 50mm, I think with this suspension on this truck, it hasn't got air shocks. I think if we took that 50mm piece out there, just next to the battery there, oh sorry you can't see it, if we took this out, that's just temporarily there anyway. We'll make a proper one to go in there. If we took that out, I think it would be too much weight on the forward axle, and of course we've got brakes on both axles, the front axle and the center axle, and they look fairly good. Like to me, that looks about right. Maybe slight more weight on the front, so that would indicate that we could actually pack this up maybe another 20mm or something like that. So it's adjustable, and we've got enough room underneath there, as you can see, to put a bit more in. So there it is, and yeah, and so we're also going to design a coupling. I've got my engineer friend who's very good at he's a mechanical engineer, so he's going to do a nice farm coupling for us. It's like one that'll fit on the back of a tractor, and so we've bought a 6-ton one of those, which is probably a bit over the top. But then if you're going up and down some steep hills, if you're going off country, you know, off road, to get your tiny house into position, that's kind of what you need really behind a tractor. But this is fine for road. So she looks heavy, but she's probably not as heavy as she looks, because the seat is pretty light. So we're going to build these with a like a Metalcraft panel, but it's actually another company, and so they're fully insulated. The floor will be done as well. We won't have the little piece like that. There'll be a nice full piece coming through there, or we may just cap those ends actually, and then because we've got lights that are on the dolly that come up and they screw in, so that's, and we won't be having wires hanging out of it like that. The reason why this, so I'll just show you underneath. So if you look under there, you'll just see some coiled up just there, and there's a couple of clamps there. They're just holding some the 4x2 steel, which is going to come back, and it's going to be screwed onto here, and so that you'll see, so your lights will be just there, and the same at the front. That's good, and we probably won't have it hardwired. We'll probably have a nice plug somewhere away from the water. Yeah. So this particular house can be hardwired with its own earth rod, and then your electrician will join the neutral with the earth. So, or it can be just plugged in, and the house is an appliance. So that's good. And I hope someone reminds me to take the chimney out before we drive off. So this house here might actually be slightly, oh no, that would be right. To the very tip of that edge there, to the other side of the ridge, is exactly 3 meters and 90. 3.090. And of course they just unscrew and unplug those lights, and we'll make sure we take the temperature off before we drive anywhere. So there we are. So we'll probably just keep the house here today. We've just got to do a little bit of work on it. We had it on a site around the back of this home. First of all, she was actually built here, and where that container is now, that's where she was built, this home. Outside, unfortunately. It's much better to build them inside. And then this Fairmont here, before it even had shocks on it, but we didn't have quite so much stuff inside it, they had actually towed it, pulled it out here and backed it. We backed through there and turned around, and then we positioned it over there. There's a little concrete pad over there, not concrete, gravel pad, where those logs are, and power running out from the shed. So we actually hardwired it, got the electrician to do that. So this here is just a temporary thing. That's supposed to have that Corten steel, but I wanted to keep the weight down until we've got it into the position where we want it. But that's okay. It's just a temporary thing. Just a bit of ply with, I think, just some 50% oil, diesel oil, and 50% diesel is the colour for that. The only trouble is it drips off. So we've got it here as well. It's just a bit of 4.5mm I had lying around, and this is this side's hit the sun a bit. You can see it's trying. I'll have to secure that before we drive off. But they look all right. So actually, the whole house has been held on just by two 12mm bolts there. The wheels actually did come. They were quite a bit further forward than this. Yeah, so that's just a 12mm bolt temporarily. That's going to have a 16mm bolt either side. There, let's see the lights there. They'll go back and tie into the back of the house. Yeah, so that's good to see they're all working. So that's how we just slide that dolly, go forward or back. You can adjust it too. We actually, I might have taken a wee bit much out here. Had a bit of a go at it. And this trailer, she's wild welding, but I think whoever did that did it in the wind. Whoever did that. yeah, we won't say who did that. Okay. So yeah, so it looks to be a little bit forward. So what would be really nice is to have have air shocks on your tow vehicle. And really, this is not a good enough tow vehicle. This is only a 1.5. This is only like 200, not even 200 horsepower. So that truck's no good. You need a 2500, which is a COF. And ideally, what we'll be looking at is having COF trailers engineered, designed, and so that we can take your tiny house that's over 3.5 tonne, and a lot of you have some of them up to 6 and 7 tonne, and they just they're not going anywhere. So, but we'll be looking at having vehicles that can tow your tiny house, but not on your trailer. So we would have to take it off your trailer, and provided they your chassis, if it's built by us, it'll be 1900 from outside measurement, and so that'll fit our dolly. So a bit of rain, that's what we wanted today. Alright, so I'm really pleased with that. So it tows real light, as soon as you put it in gear, it's the way. It makes such a difference to have the triple axle. Notice how close we have to have them together, because they do fight one another, the tyres, especially if you're turning tight. So you've got to be, and you don't want to be turning tight. You want to just be gentle. So now we're just going to back this one up into here, right in the middle. Oh, actually, I'm just going to move that trailer out. Shall I move that trailer out? Yeah, I've got to get a warrant for that today. So I'll move this trailer out. I'll put the I might just back that one back in front ways. I wanted to do some work on it, but I'll probably wait till after this rain now. So anyway, it was nice to just see that I can manoeuvre it around, and the brakes all work. So that's good. Everything's great. So we've got to go up that driveway, look. And that driveway there, there's a few trees there that got to be got to be pruned, because you know we've got this one's actually only, because it's got such a low dolly, it's actually only 4.4 off the ground, 4.16 I think it is off the ground. Initially when we built it, it was 4.225 I think. But for some reason, I'm not sure why it seems shorter. I'll measure it again, but I might just run another tape over it shortly. Okay, so there we go. How's that? Alright, thanks folks.